So the final trailer for the Mario movie just dropped, and this is looking to be amazing. I'm really excited about this movie overall. And yeah, I kind of wanted to discuss it because this final trailer was wild, and there's a lot of things to unpack here. So yeah, one thing that I wanted to say is that I'm glad that there's so many references to the games in this movie. Like, that's one thing that they've been consistently showing, and this trailer is no exception. There's a lot of things that I'll get into in a little bit. But basically, the trailer starts off in Bowser's castle, and yeah, it basically shows Luigi along with some other characters, including Bowser's minions. Maybe they were not following Bowser's orders, and then they're basically trapped in cages over lava, and the penguins appear there as well. And I'm kind of glad that they're going to be in other scenes as well, since I thought that the King Penguin and the other penguins were pretty funny in the first trailer. And the main thing that people are talking about from this scene is the Luma, specifically the Lumily. It's basically, they were talking about death, and they were pretty dark overall. And I thought it was pretty funny, to be honest. I know some people will think it's kind of an overused trope. I mean, I've only seen it used a couple times in animated movies, but even though it might be a bit like Illumination humor-esque, I mean, I would say it's more like Warner Brothers animation group kind of humor, kind of like the Lego movie a little bit. I would say it's more towards that type of humor, even though it's kind of leaning towards that stereotypical animation humor. I still thought it was funny. Like, even though it was kind of stereotypical for a movie like this, I think it's just kind of funny to see Mario characters subvert from our expectations just in general. Even if it's tropey, even if it like is stereotypical, I think it is cool to see like characters like Lumas be really weird. Like, I mean, because Lumas are a species. I know some people are saying like, this ruined my expectations of Lumas. I mean, Lumas aren't the same. They're like toads. They're a whole species, like Yoshis. Like, individuals in that species can be different. So I feel like this single Lumily is just crazy. That's kind of what I think. And I think it's just pretty funny overall. But I don't think it's really an indication of what the other Lumas will be like in the movie. I think it's just a Luma going crazy because they're trapped in a cage. That's what I think is going on here. But yeah, even though the joke is a little stereotypical, I thought it was funny. Because, I mean, it is funny seeing like a Mario character say something like that. Kind of like how those jokes are in the Paper Mario series. I feel like it's kind of comparable to some of those jokes in the Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi games, with how like some Toad says something like really random. I think it's kind of comparable to that, I would say. I would say both in the classic and modern Paper Mario games, there's some NPCs that say some like funny things like that. But yeah, that's kind of the vibes that I've been getting from that. But yeah, overall, I think it is good that we finally got a look at the Lumas, or at least Lumily, in the trailer, because I feel like this might be an indication of, like, other Lumas that will be in the movie. Like, I think Lumas will definitely play somewhat of a significant role in the movie. Maybe they have to do with the stars that Bowser is trying to get and everything. And earlier during my reaction stream, I was theorizing if there was like an area like Comet Observatory or something like Star Haven from Paper Mario where the Lumas live and they're like guarding the stars. I think that would kind of make sense. And this is just like a Luma that got captured by Bowser. So maybe there's some significance behind this. And yeah, I do think it's cool that we are seeing Lumas in the movie, because just in general, it is cool that we're getting like more representation from throughout the Mario franchise, not just from like the new Super Mario Bros. Games or the original Mario games like Super Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. 3. I'm glad that we're getting like representation from Mario 64, Mario Galaxy, Mario Odyssey. I think it's pretty cool that we're getting like representation from those sides of the Mario series. So I think it is cool that Lumas will be in this movie, and I hope there's more Lumas than this. And yeah, pretty solid scene overall that they showed, but it kind of showed that this trailer was pretty crazy overall. And we also got a look at some enemy designs as well, like the Goombas. I really like the design of the Goombas in the movie. I'm glad they didn't directly rip from the design from the games. Like, I mean, it is inspired, obviously, by the design of, like, the modern 3D Mario games and everything, but I'm glad they took some inspiration from, like, the older Goomba designs, because they seem to take some inspiration from some of the earlier depictions of Goombas. And, yeah, and they also showed Hammer Bros and Sledge Bros, and then also the Spinies as well. I'm not sure how to feel about Spinies with mouths. I mean, I guess they kind of always had mouths, but they never really opened them in the games, but, like, it is kind of weird to see them make, like, different, like, facial expressions, because I'm kind of used to them being, like, just eyes as the face, and maybe, like, a little, like, nose or beak kind of pointing out. Like, I never really expected them to have mouths like that, but, and the design still looks good, but I just have to get used to that design, and I thought it was funny how Bowser was like, oh, and those other things. He just, like, straight up didn't acknowledge the Spinies. But, yeah, that scene was also good. We got to see some more enemies and everything, and, yeah, we got, like, more looks at the different areas, like the Toast Arena inspired area, or the Bomb Battlefield inspired area. I think it's pretty cool that we're getting, like, a lot of different areas in the Mario series represented, and that's always exciting, and there's probably more that we'll have yet to see in the final movie and everything. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And then another part of the trailer that was definitely pretty notable was Donkey Kong getting a Fire Flower. I don't think anyone saw that coming. Like, I feel like most people expected the movie to kind of follow the standard Mario rules, like just Mario or Luigi or the Toads getting the Fire Flower, even Peach, because Peach had power-ups in 3D World and everything. But I don't think anyone expected Donkey Kong to get a Fire Flower. And I think that's pretty cool overall, because we've never really seen Donkey Kong have, like, Mario's abilities or any of the Mario power-ups. Like, we're mostly used to seeing Donkey Kong kind of be controlled in, like, or basically have the leading role in, like, Donkey Kong Country, where it functioned much differently from Mario, like, and didn't really have, like, it's a very different platforming series than the traditional Mario games. So I think it's cool that Donkey Kong is actually getting an ability that Mario can get. And yeah, I think it's pretty cool. It kind of subverts our expectations of what we kind of expect to see from, like, Mario and everything. They're kind of doing things, like, out of the ordinary here, which is pretty nice to see. And yeah, I think it's just pretty cool to see Donkey Kong, like, get the Fire Flower and everything. Maybe they'll show him get, like, another power-up, in the movie, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool that he's, like, actually fighting alongside Mario and everything. But yeah, I thought that scene was pretty cool. I feel like it definitely surprised a lot of people, because I don't think anyone saw that coming, but yeah, the pretty exciting part of the trailer. I know I got pretty excited when Donkey Kong got the Fire Flower and everything. So yeah, it's cool to see that they're doing, like, a lot of really interesting things with this movie. It kind of goes to show that Nintendo has moved on from, like, the standard era of Mario. Like, ever since Super Mario Odyssey, they've been doing a lot of interesting things with the Mario franchise, and they've allowed it to be more creative, kind of like how the Mario franchise was during the Nintendo 64, GameCube, and early Wii era. Like, during the 2000s, Mario was kind of more, like, creative overall, and it seems like they're kind of going back to that now. Like, the movie seems much more creative and everything compared to, like, some of the games from a few years ago. So I think it's pretty cool to see that they're doing a lot of interesting things with this movie. And finally, in the last few scenes here. It shows like Mario Kart and everything. I really like the amount of references and small details that they put into this scene. Because I noticed that they're actually referencing the anti-gravity, which is really cool. And I didn't expect them to go that far with the Mario Kart references, because that's like with Mario Kart 8 and everything. So I think it's cool that they're referencing the anti-gravity. And yeah, like, and there's a lot of minor details that are pretty cool. Like the fact that different sound effects play. Like I've noticed the brick block, Mario Death, and the green shell like sound effects that played, and I thought that was pretty cool overall. And yeah, and I kind of had a theory about Rainbow Road that kind of relates to the Luma thing that I mentioned earlier. I wonder if the Rainbow Road in this movie is like leading up to like the Comet Observatory or Star Haven like area. I think that would be really cool, and it would make a lot of sense within the context of this movie. So I really hope that Rainbow Road has some sort of significance in terms of that. Maybe Rainbow Road like leads to Bowser's Castle. I mean, there's a possibility that it might do that, but I wouldn't be disappointed if it was just like leading to Bowser's Castle. I mean, that's kind of an expectation, but considering the fact that Bowser's minions and the Koopas are chasing down Mario and the others, in like the Kongs and the different characters, I feel like that kind of indicates that they're kind of going towards something important here. Like it might be like an actual place like where the stars are, or like the Lumas are, like I said, like those locations that I mentioned earlier. That would kind of make sense for Bowser to be heading, and since the stars are basically like the MacGuffins of the movie, Bowser's basically like, it seems like he's stealing like the stars and everything, so maybe there's like the Star Haven or Comet Observatory is like the central location for like the stars in this movie. Like there's something like that, and that's Bowser is trying to get to that point or something like that towards the end of the movie. I think that would be pretty cool, and we'll just have to see. But yeah, overall, this movie is looking amazing. There's a ton of references that I really like, and it definitely seems like it's being made for both general audiences and Mario fans. I feel like this movie definitely had Mario fans in mind. Like, there's a ton of references that, like, Mario fans will kind of pick apart and see here that general audiences won't really notice at first. So I think it's pretty cool that they have those there, because I mean, you can kind of tell that this is being made by people who like Mario. Like some of the I think the writers or the directors said that like they were Mario fans, and they kind of kept that in mind with this movie. And I wouldn't be surprised if the people behind this movie were Mario fans, because it seems like there's a lot of dedication and a lot of effort towards like Mario references put into this movie. Like there definitely seems to be a lot of care and passion towards like the Mario aspects of this movie and the Mario references and everything, and I really appreciate that overall. Like, it definitely seems like a movie made by Mario fans for Mario fans, and that's just definitely something that I appreciate overall. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server if you want to. Goodbye.